Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Chameleon. Chameleon is similar to Canfield, and the objective of Chameleon is to build 4 foundations by suit using a standard 52 card deck. Notice how I said by suit, I didn't say from ace to king or anything like that, and we'll talk about that. So at the beginning of the game, you'll deal 12 cards face down to a reserve pile. You'll then flip the top card of the reserve pile face up. You'll also create 4 foundation piles, right? The first foundation pile is Delta card, which acts as the lead rank for the game. You'll then have 3 tableau piles. Each pile will be dealt 1 card face up. And after dealing cards to the reserve, foundation, and tableau, the remaining cards are set aside, forming a stockpile. You'll also have an empty waste pile. So, the first foundation pile is Delta card, which acts as the lead rank, right? Also note that the remaining 3 piles must start from the same rank. So 10's our lead rank here. The remaining 3 piles must start from 10. Foundation piles are built up from suits, starting from the lead rank to the rank 1 below the lead rank, wrapping around from king to ace if required. So you are allowed to wrap around the full circle if you need to. On the tableau, cards are played in descending order, regardless of suit. In this case, we played our 10 there. And so we'll talk about what just happened there. Right, but cards are played in descending order. And so we aren't able to show that here. But that would essentially be, if we had a 9, we could play it on this 10. If we had a queen, we could play it on this king. If we had a 3, we could play it on this 4. So descending order, suit does not matter. The top card of a tableau pile can be played to the foundation. So we'll go ahead and we'll play the 10 of hearts, which is the top card of this foundation pile. We'll play it to the foundation. Any card or set of cards from one tableau pile can be moved to another tableau pile. An empty pile in the tableau will be filled with a card from the reserve first. So we'll move this 10 of hearts. We'll then have an empty pile in the tableau. It'll be filled with a card from the reserve first. If there's no card in the reserve, then it will be filled with any card. The top card from the reserve pile can be played to the foundation or to the tableau. Whenever a card is moved from the reserve pile, the face down top card of the reserve pile, also known as the next card in the reserve pile, it would be flipped up. You can draw from the stockpile anytime. That will draw 1 card face up onto the waste pile. You can only go through the stockpile once. You are not allowed to redeal. The top card from the waste pile can be moved onto the tableau or foundation piles. The card from the foundation can be moved to any of the tableau piles if need be. The game ends once all cards are moved onto the foundation piles. And so we'll sort of talk a bit as we're playing through, highlighting some key rules that we're demonstrating. But essentially that's it. Just by watching, you'll be able to understand. So we got the 10 of spades. That's very good. We also have the jack of hearts, right? That's 1 rank higher than the 10, so we go ahead and build it up. Then our next card is a 9 of hearts. So you can't really do anything with a 9. We have a 5. That's not really useful. So these cards aren't really useful right now. We have the 7, we could place that on the 8. Notice that we can also move an entire pile of cards, right? Provided that it is 1 rank lower with the card making contact. And other than that, it's quite simple. It plays out how you'd expect it to play out. Just note that you cannot move cards to the reserve pile. And that's true for any solitaire, right? The meaning of reserve is essentially a backup, resource or backup, stock of cards, right? It wouldn't make sense to add to that backup. We would only use it and take from it. So we continue playing. We got the jack of clubs. That's 1 rank higher. That's great. 10 of diamonds. Wow, that's also great. And so I like to talk about how bad my luck is, but truth be told, I do have quite a good hand right now. So if I do lose this, that's on me. Queen of spades, we didn't have the jack of spades played there, so we'll put this queen of spades down there, saving the queen of spades there. 2 of clubs, cannot really make use of it. Queen of clubs, we'll play it right there on our jack. We also have the king of spades. Unfortunately, we cannot move it anywhere really. And so we're getting a nice set of quality cards here, but we're unable to really place them anywhere. 7 cannot be placed. Jack of diamonds, that's nice. Remember, we can only go through the stock deck once. 2. We cannot place that 4 anywhere, really. We have the queen of diamonds there, that's quite good. So, right, if there's an empty pile on the tableau, it automatically gets filled with a card from the reserve pile. Okay. So, there's that. So we simply keep flipping through, playing the jack. Could also play a queen. Now we're looking for the kings. If we can grab them. Oh, we're looking for the kings or queens, right? Queens for one of the cards. 5, 4. That's Queen of Hearts. Now we have the King of Hearts. That's nice. Move that 3. Move that 7. King of Diamonds, right? Try to filter through these reserve cards as much as you can, right? It's beneficial to sort of exhaust this reserve pile early on. You have the Ace of Hearts there. Those are 2. Now we're looking for the 3 of Hearts. We don't have it. Okay, so we exhausted our entire pile here. And so what does that mean? Well, we sort of have to make do with what we have so far, right? And what we have so far cannot actually help us win. That's okay. We'll go ahead and we'll do that. And then we'll go ahead, and I guess we'll do that. But other than that, we're in a bit of a bad spot here. Reason being is we're sort of unable to really make a move. Let us see what can be done here. Okay. Okay. That would be so beneficial to somehow get that card. Right? It would be extremely beneficial. There's no doubt about it. What we need I guess sort of an empty tableau pile here. Okay. Yeah, we're in a rough spot. Rough spot. We'll go ahead and we'll do that. But we're in a rough spot. We're essentially stuck. So that wraps up how to play Chameleon, right? The game itself isn't too hard to understand. Let us just highlight it one more time in terms of setting up the game, right? And so at the beginning, right, you deal 12 cards face down to a reserve pile. The top card of the reserve pile is then turned face up. You also have 4 foundation piles. The first foundation pile is dealt a card, which acts as the lead ring for the game. In this case, the lead ring for the game would be the 8 of Hearts. You have 3 tableau piles. Each pile is dealt 1 card face up. Right, the remaining cards are set aside forming a stockpile, and you'll have an empty waste pile. The first foundation pile is dealt a card, which acts as the lead ring. The remaining 3 piles must start from the same ring. So the remaining 3 piles here would start with 8s as well. 8 of clubs, 8 of diamonds, 8 of spades. On the tableau, cards are played in descending order, regardless of suit. And you can wrap around from ace to king and 2 if possible, right? In card games, that's referred to as turning the corner, when you are able to wrap between ace and king and continue the sequence. So you're allowed to turn the corner here. The top card of a tableau pile can be played to the foundation. You can move any card or a group of cards between the tableaus. Also note that if you have an empty pile in the tableau, it's filled with a card from the reserve pile first. If there's no card in the reserve, then you can fill it with any card. The top card from the reserve pile can be played to the foundation, to the tableau, right? That's totally up to you. Whenever a card is moved from the reserve pile, the next face down top card of the reserve pile is turned face up. You can draw one card from the stockpile anytime. That draws it onto the waste pile. You are only allowed to go through the stockpile once, meaning no redeal is allowed. The top card from the waste pile can be moved onto any of the tableau or foundation piles. You cannot move a card from the foundation back to the tableau. That is a move that's permissible in some solitaires, but even then, even if it was permissible, it's typically only used by very high level players who know when to move a card from the foundation back, because generally you don't really want to move a card from the foundation back to the tableau. In this case, it doesn't matter because it's not permissible. The game is won once all the cards are moved onto the foundation piles. The game is lost if you're stuck and you have no moves left. Do note, just in terms of the difficulty, this is similar to Canfield, and Canfield is notorious for being perhaps the most difficult solitaire card game, or in many people's opinions, it is the most difficult solitaire card game. And so likewise, this will also be very difficult. And just a heads up, you'll probably only be able to win about 10% of your games. So it is a higher difficulty solitaire, but that wraps up how to play Chameleon. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.